All right, guys, I need you to get out of that hole. We're going to do a couple of things, and I need to make sure nobody gets exploded. Hello, everybody. This is Frogman. Welcome back to Captain of Industry. Yes, I think it's time we drop another asteroid, and we're going to drop another asteroid in what's left of that pit. There's not a whole lot of iron left. They've been sitting here doing nothing but kind of being a pain in the butt and scrubbing things terribly. So we're going to go ahead and plop in a smaller asteroid that I have found, which should be this guy right here. It's going to be about 500,000 solid iron, so that's a pretty good deal there. That should last us for at least until we can decide to move a few things where we want to put it. But I wanted to make sure that I'm going to try to hit it about right there, I think. And well, the impact is specific to where the roundness is, and then the actual splash could be as far as that goes. So I say we go there and hope we don't destroy anything. All right, that looks interesting. That should do the work, at least for now. Cool, so we need to get our boys back over here, digging into that thing. I think we'll just dig down and maybe straight across the side of it, and then we'll just figure out what we need to do when the time comes. I've got a lot of little things laying around that I need to remember I have sitting in places because we need to kind of start discussing other projects that we have not been working on. There's a couple of things I need to remember to fix too as well, because, well, this will be the second time I get to record this episode because I screwed up and didn't get all of the information I wanted the first time. Anyhow, let's go ahead and set up some mining, and then we can get into the rest of what we're going to do today. So I think we'll just, for that matter, there used to be a flat spot right there, guys, right? Let's go rotate down to about, I think it's there. Maybe we'll go a little further. We'll go to there, and then what we'll do is we'll do a flat spot there, and then we'll just go in and just worry about it as we see fit. So straight, and I need them getting onto that because we need to be making sure we're keeping our iron production functional. But I think we'll just go ahead and scrape the top of that thing off first, and we should be good there. Good, good, good. And then I need to make sure my dumping selection station is set over here. Nope, do this, do it correctly. Just keep filling in this hole. And I think that'll work for there. And then I also want to continue to square that edge off for now, because we might build some more boats out here eventually. I don't know. It's a long time from now. It depends on how long I feel like playing the game. All right, so we've got all that done. A couple other things I need to sort out very, very quickly, and I will be right back with you guys because we're going to start building a project that I kind of figure is kind of somewhat endgame. So let me fix a couple of things that I know I need to fix, and I'll be back. All right, so we're just checking around, doing a couple of little things, kind of looking at the end of this mess. And the one thing that I will say that I've been doing is I have been doing a little bit of work with the asteroids, or at least doing some investigation to see whether or not there's some good stuff around so that we can kind of play around with. Two of the things I have been getting rid of in here are the asteroids that are nothing but rocks, and the asteroids like this one that are a mixed bag of two minerals. I understand there's a million iron right there, but the problem is I don't feel like dealing with almost 400,000 copper that will be interspersed with that. It's just going to be a royal pain in the tail to deal with, so we'll do something kind of along those lines. We're fine for things right now, and if anything, I might start looking at maybe starting to bring down one of these, or perhaps what we do is we try to plop, say, this one down over by our quartz area. So I'm going to kind of work on digging this one flat, but I might plop it next to it, or I might put it out back here. I don't know yet. I've kind of got a couple of plans, I think, for what I'm going to say is just an obvious thing one will do. I mean, I know I dropped this over here, but we were kind of out of iron, and I didn't feel like moving into this area to kind of cut into this pile because, to be fair, there's an awful lot of rocks sitting on top of this one towards the back side of it, so it would get kind of really ugly fairly quickly. Plus, we still have this little mountain range in the middle of the island. I think the eventual plan, I guess we'll talk about this while we're sitting here thinking about it, is the end game. How do you deal with this infinite resource loop that you're going to be playing with, which is bringing in what asteroids you can. Now, I've been looking around, and as far as things go with what's on this map and what is, I am assuming, available here, we're going to get, at bare minimum so far, titanium, rock, copper, iron, what is this? Silicon, or excuse me, quartz and the uranium. Now, interestingly enough, that is the only one of those that I've had show up so far. Out of everything that I've done, and like I said, I've thrown away quite a few of them, and I might start tossing away like that one. That one's not really worth our time compared to the one above it. I think has got 1 million in it. They vary in size, and as you go along, you get more and more and more and more. So like this one, really probably we should just get rid of it too, so that we have room for stuff. Now, I don't think I'm making anything right now because we had a small issue coming up, and I'm going to have to turn things back on, but I believe at this point we should be okay. I just need to do a couple of those to get things going. But yes, we need to kind of start thinking about that little issue if we're going to continue to play the game. So I am going to do a little bit of modifications in between episodes. I think we're going to try to build out a little bit of this, and I am going to think about moving all of this down here and moving a couple of things. But that's neither here nor there. That's stuff that I'm going to have to mess with. But yeah, I think what we're going to do is we're going to plop a bunch of asteroids down up here, probably in a line, kind of like so, and then have room between each of them so the trucks can go back and forth, and then build our mining kind of in that location on this side of the island so that we can then maybe ship in our smelting up to here and do whatever. Now, again, this is a lot of this long time from now, and it depends on whether or not I want to continue to play this game for the entirety of how things are going. So the first thing I want to do today, and I will, outside of all of the talking that we just did, is that I want to go ahead and finalize this little thing, and I think we're going to leave it right there. That's a good spot as anything else, and that is called the Captain's Tomb. Captain's Tomb, Tomb of the Captains thing right here. It is provides final resting place for all of the generations of captains who led the people of the island. When completed, fires should always be lit, and the tomb should be decorated with flowers to pay tribute to the resting captains. So what the Captain's Tomb does is it's kind of similar in style and shape to these things right here, these squares, where they get adjacency bonuses. So we'll get an adjacency bonus in here. As we noticed, there's not anything going on right now, but we will, once we get that built, we'll get a unity bonus for the building of the thing. So it's kind of like one of those deals, like, you know, if you played one of those games that has like an end game monument that you have to build in order to say you beat the game, like, you know, Age of Empires, whatever, or Oxygen Not Included, something like that, where you have a monument to state that, hey, here is our power, here is where we're going, and this is what we're doing. This is going to take a long time because I believe it takes 5 stages and an absolute massive amount of concrete. So we're going to put our concrete systems to use while we kind of talk about the concrete systems to use and the other things that are going to be towards end game. So I think what I'm going to do today is, the first thing I need to do is those guys need to get cranked up and go into work. I saw the little blink. I don't know why you guys are blinking. Why are you mad at me? Something is turning up, and it's typical as the way this all goes. We need a little bit more power. Do I absolutely need to be making all of this stuff right now? No. Let's see. While we're at it, let's regulate a couple of things. You're nice and full of blanket fuel and rich, so let's do... I think we need to go to here and off, and you can go there and off, and then we'll kick that, and that'll make it go, what'd you do that for? That's fine. We're going to make it do some work for a little while here, and we can kind of talk. Now, granted, I'm going to have to pay attention to this. This is fine, but I need that extra bank of generators up and running for the moment, at least for the time being. And I suppose the other thing that I was kind of thinking I wanted to do while we're at here kind of talking about end games, so we'll kind of just speak about what I'm kind of figuring is end game. And again, this infinite loop of what do you do once you've done all of the research? Well, you do this stuff. You do this endless infinite stuff that you can do forever and ever, like those and these and these and these. So it's kind of like Factorio in that line, where you're just going to sit here and bang out research and try to just increase the production as much as you possibly can. And I think one of the first things I want to do with that actually is I need to figure out a way to sneak these out of that area. So how much does this one need per time? So it's 4. I'm kind of contemplating starting a project elsewheres while we're waiting on this to get built. I mean, we've got to add a whole bunch of concrete to that. So like that first base one was 3,000 concrete, and I don't store that much concrete around, so we're just going to be waiting on it. The thing that I may do here is I think I might start trying to find a large flat spot, which we're kind of getting to that point. We have one almost built over here, And I might start just throwing down a decent array of solar just to kind of help out. I'm not a huge fan of solar in this game, but you know, for a game I should say that is pretty much, you know, it's the sun shines all the time except for when it's raining. But I do think we probably need to start looking at doing that, because this is, again, as always, power seems to be one of those limiters in this game where you're always going to be fighting against making enough power. And our biggest problem now is I don't have a reasonable supply of uranium ore left outside of this. And we haven't gotten to the uranium ore that exists way out there on the other side of the island. So again, what do? Do we throw down a bunch of solar, or do we just kind of slowly eke our way through things? So I suppose what I can do is I think I could sneak out like one of these. So let's look at this real quick while we're sitting here playing around. Solar panels require 120 per thing. And that one thing produces 200 kilowatts as long as it's not raining. I think there is no reason for us to be sitting here with this not filling up a box. Granted, it's going to eat up a large amount of aluminum, of which we're not really doing all that well on right now because, well, the aluminum is going into all of these little bitty space probe thingies that we're currently working on, which is not amazing and great and wonderful. And I'm gonna have to be careful with some of this. I don't want it to accidentally run out, but yeah, I might just go ahead and say we start filling a box up and just carefully, slowly over time, placing down a few of these solar panels in a few places. So let's grab us a box. I'm just gonna do one of these, and I'm gonna put it there, and then I think I can probably really cheese this terribly, but that, and that, and you just do that to there, and we'll just do this. And then they can build those, and then as that fills up, we can start to try to figure out whether or not we want to try to throw a few things down for that. How are you guys doing? Oh, big heavy thing. We're getting real close. Good deal. Is everything else working? Because I'm kind of just in that point right now where that's it. Looks like everything's good. Are you guys almost done? Getting real close. 92%. Kind of very much contemplating building something similar to what we have right here, where I'm just going to take one of these really large storages and put it right there so it can just fill up full of concrete. I think I can probably make that hook right nicely in, and instead of saying that you are not, but you are this, and no. All right, did we get it done, or are we almost done? All right, cool. That's the first section. So here's what I want to do real quick before I get silly, before we forget what we're doing. Flat lift, excuse me, here just a second. I need you to connect there and flip. Can you do that? No, you can't. I need you to go right there, and then you can go here to there. Okay, and then you can come out of there and do the exact same. We're not really storing a lot of concrete, and I'm gonna probably want a bunch eventually anyway. All right, so I just turn that belt around. Well, it won't matter, but yeah, you guys do me a favor. Build that. It's still not going to hold a massive amount of stuff, is it? Okay, anyhow. Well, we at least have a nice big storage for that now, and that's something I should have built a long time ago, but that's fine. We'll be good to go. Next section's going to require 2,000 concrete and 400 more of those things. So we'll just go ahead and let them build the next section while I keep my eyes on things around base to make sure everything is functional. Hey, you're full. Good. All right, let's go check on things now. That's all done. I went ahead and assigned a couple of guys. I'm going to go ahead and have these guys just get built. We should have something functional shortly. We'll just pause it and let them haul all the wonderful goodness over here while I then say, for now, I want you to level all of the area with whatever you can get your hands on and dig us a bunch of gold, please, so that we can start caring about not wasting a bunch of parts. So we should have some excavators coming over, and as soon as all that gets built, we're good. Do we have a new thing? Yep, they're working on it slowly. We're about there. Time to start working on the next thing, which is, I guess, sitting there waiting on that. So I will see you guys once I can find something else to do once that's up and ready to go. I screwed up, didn't I? Yes, I did. Dang it! Well, I suppose we can add a line. I suppose the thing, like I said, that's going to get us in the end is going to be limestone if we don't get any other things. So we do have rock mines, we do have a limestone quarry. I think we have a couple of those out here, maybe? Or do we only have two? I only have two of those left. I don't know. Endgame again. Endgame material is going to be kind of interesting to see how things are going to work, because we have to kind of worry about that kind of a problem. Why don't you do me a humongous favor and empty, please? And yeah, we need to do a couple more things, but like limestone is going to be something aside from coal that I'm going to care about. Do we have a limestone contract? Okay, we do. I don't know if I want to do something like this. I mean, granted, that's a direct trade, so theoretically what you would do is you would just drop an asteroid in an area and then have that be your limestone trade. So you just plunk an asteroid down, mine it, and then immediately dump it into a ship and have it, you know, do what it needs to do. That seems like a kind of a bad idea. I don't know. How are we doing over here? What happened? Oh, you're stuck again. Go to the next. Okay, so that should be, what is it, tier 2? So we go into tier 3. How much concrete have we got chilling at this point? I know I should have probably done that a long time ago, but it is, I guess, what it is. Go ahead and hit the next stage, another 400 of the red, which we have plenty sitting there, and another 1,000 concrete, as always. Well, I work on why I have problems here. I know what happened. I accidentally had something screwed up. I adjusted my train stations in here, moved it. I need to finish doing that with the gold. Actually, I need to move it all the way over so they're all in line. Just haven't done that yet because I really haven't felt the need to do so. Anyhow, we'll just let it build as always. Okay, well, that level is done. We are now sitting at, what is it, stage 3, getting ready to go to stage 4. We've got a lot of people that are unhappy because they're all dying, or not. Well, they're not quite dying yet from the flu, but it's really mass just going after our unity, and either way, it's kind of fun. Did get the system over here finally built, and they're going to go ahead and fill that bucket up, or this container up, before we decide we want to do anything else. But yeah, I'm gonna let that roll for a little while we currently work on this process. And again, I know it's kind of this back and forth kind of thing. I've been just sitting here making sure that certain things are functioning correctly and doing what they're supposed to be doing. But let's go ahead and hit that and let it do the next step. So this step's going to require 400 of the red, 2,000 concrete slabs, and some glass this time. And I think we're just gonna, no, I don't want to do that. I want you to build it naturally. Thank you. So you guys can just haul it in there. We just kind of do this the simple, quick, easy way. I mean, I guess we could use Unity to end it, but that's fine. The thing I think we're going to need to start worrying about, though, is this is also going to require flowers, and I'm assuming something that needs to be burning, or at least allow us to burn various things. So let's go ahead and make something over here. I think we're going to hook into, I mean, I guess I could hook in any one of these that are overfilled. I mean, like this one's overfilled. I mean, we could change a couple of things out. We got plenty of corn. For whatever reason, the corn production is working perfectly fine, and they're not eating it as much as they have been. So, I mean, I don't really know why they're not eating it, but I suppose everything is the way that it is. It's good. It's fine. Let's pick one of these farms out here. I suppose we could probably do one of these corn farms because we are pretty well over on the corn. So if I just replace this with flowers, that's going to make 12 a second. And it's going to use a decent amount of water, but that's fine. I think we'll just do this one right here, and then I'm just going to make a container, just a unit storage right there. And I should be able to sneak you out from underneath of that mess. No, I'm a terrible designer when it comes to things. What is this one? Wheat. No, wheat we need. I need to adjust this. Can I just pause you and you stop outputting? No, you have to finish all your corn first. We'll finish all your corn first. I guess you can start raising flowers. That'd be fine. That's a quick one too. I think those are only 4 months versus, yeah, they're the same time, so it won't matter, other than this will slow it down just a little bit. But I'd really like it if they just drain what's left of that corn out of there. I suppose I could probably tell one of these other systems over here to stop doing it, but whatever. Oh, lovely. We've hit that point. Go back to work, kids. You're fine. Well, looky there. We're going to get it built, hopefully, fairly soon. I think I will back off one of those for right now just to try to get our numbers back up. Yeah, I don't know. Once again, the Unity kind of tanks because certain things tend to happen and you're not paying attention like I am. So let's see if we can't get this empty. Because I don't want any of this in my... any of that in my in our storage. I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter, but let's do it to about there. Go away, and then I'm just gonna loop this out about to there, and then do that, and see if that's enough to get us out where we need to go. And if not, I may have to redo some of this, but let's see. And I think we can do that. We just need to do, don't connect you to this, and then you come here and we'll just take you down like that. Get unpaused, get unpaused. And get on pause, and I guess we can just do the thing now that we have a little bit. Yeah, I know. I managed to make it mad. I guess I should probably turn some of this stuff off and let it build, but we're still getting there. We're almost there. Okay, so that should be level, whatever level this is. What is this, level 4 going into level 5? Again, we need a whole lot of this stuff and a whole bunch of concrete and a bunch of glass. I'm just going to go ahead and kick that one off and let it go to work. How are we doing down here? Did you guys get that built? You did. Okay. How much flour did that make? Or flours? That made 50. Okay, well that works at least for now. That's fine. I mean, we don't have to just make a massive amount of it. I don't want to be fiddling too terribly much with this stuff, so as long as it's working, that's fine with me. And you should be okay. Yeah, we didn't break you. And you shouldn't have heard anything anyway, so we're just good to go. We just need to, again, just kind of let things slowly build. Suppose I need to start working on a train station over here for this now.
5, 4, 2, 1, dog.
Okay. Into, what is this level? 5 now. Apparently we do have an interface. So we can start putting things in the thing, looks like, if we wanted to. Cool. And it doesn't have an action, so that means I can't tell it to just preload itself with whatever is available. That's fun. Okay, we got a port back here. Let's see what we can do with this for the moment. I know it's not quite finished, but I mean, maybe we start peddling things into it and see what it does for us. So we'll do that. We'll do that with a right angle, not the wonky angle, and you guys can just go ahead and get built. This will be flowers, keep full. And I need to run over here, I suppose, and say you have access to this. So go there. Cool. That means you guys should be able to haul that out of there. I may hook up another one of these. I don't know. Just depends on how much it says it needs. So we're making flowers. It pushes, what did we figure? 46 or 49 every month or whenever, every 3 or 4 months. So I guess we can see whether or not that's something it can manage. It will eat. Well, it might work. We'll just go ahead and do that. And I think what we will do is we will pull the gas that it wants in from over here, because we have some over here we can use. So we'll go to about there. And then let me see, where's the line? Where do we gotta go? We go like clear down to here, okay. And then I suppose this side of that line, that way. Yes, please connect right there and just get unpaused and we'll let you do what you need to do. Okay, so we're going to consume 2.3 flowers per cycle per minute, whatever that is. Am I going to get anything from that? Nothing so far. I suppose we might have to build the pipes and get it filled up with gas. And I think I need to go over here and look and make sure that I do not have any priority outs, because there shouldn't be anything other than a priority in coming off of this. But we have plenty of fuel gas to light fires. Hey, we got flowers, fires. It's not quite complete, but that does. Okay, so we're gonna, that's not terrible. We can deal with that amount of consumption off of that. And does it give us anything now? Well, this is new. Other decorations, we get 0.15 for the fact that it is here burning and having stuff. So, all right, I guess we do the next step, which is 600 of the red, 1,000 concrete, 1,000 glass, and 2,000 gold. Use up some of that gold we've got chilling around not doing anything, and we'll see where that goes before we get this over with. Okay, we should be getting pretty close to finishing this guy out, looks like. It's getting ready to do all of this stuff, and it's going to give us what? Alrighty, cool. We get us a nice dome with a nice little golden spire and a gold anchor and fires everywhere, and I wonder if that's supposed to be a Halloween decoration and there's supposed to be something other than that. That's kind of funny. It is Halloween or close to Halloween after all, so that's kind of cool. All right, so we're now consuming 3.8 and 4.5 per minute, and I'm going to see whether or not that's going to last long enough for us to do anything. What does it give us? Why is the reason that you build it? For 0.5 unity additional on top of everything that you've already got. Okay, well that's I guess something else we can kind of play with. I have more things in here. If I feel like playing with them, I can. I mean, we can do the luxury goods and the consumer electronics. I think if I touch the consumer electronics, so we need to start really cranking down on aluminum. Alrighty then, well that's what I wanted to get done today. At least for the time being. I'm going to have to figure out how this all works because, well, this episode has been taking me too long to record. I've actually had several times of it not wanting to do what it's supposed to be doing, to the point I've been staring at my recording software like every 2 seconds like a hawk to make sure it doesn't shut off. I don't know what's going on, but we should be good to go. So, yes, Captain's Tomb, or whatever this thing is called, Tomb of the Captains, excuse me, completed, now added to the system, will help us get rid of some of this junk that we've got over here. And yeah, we should be good for the time being to at least work with that. So as far as what we're going to continue to do, I think the next step is probably to start working on just the obvious stuff, which is how do you work through not necessarily having to worry about carrying things from all over your island, or at least the special stuff. So like the quartz, the iron, the copper, and the uranium and the tungsten. So I think what we might do is I might start just in between episodes working on trying to get down a couple more of these asteroids, or at least get a couple more asteroids here. So that's going to require 480 of the little boosters, and then I'm going to try to find one that's got a whole lot of, you know, like I said, we'll probably pull like that one down, and I need to get rid of some of these little ones. But like we'll try to pull the biggest ones down that we can, or at least the most consistent ones like these. And then I'm going to probably just build them back here in an idea, and then we can start to think about moving our resource collection somewhere else for a little while. So there is definitely going to be some things I want to try to do, at least as far as what I'm going to say is end game resource gathering and continuing of the way things go, because there's it's infinite. We just have to build certain things in order to make it work. So we're going to have to dig into the contracts, and we're going to have to dig into how we're going to make this kind of system work. But I think for now, that's a good place to end it. We built the Tomb of the Captains, and I've got my gold and whatnot working again. So I will see you guys all later. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.